Hello, and thanks for watching another episode of ARFCOM News, your twice-weekly dose of the finest 2A propaganda. Just as we were finishing our edit for Wednesday's episode, the Fifth Circuit dropped an injunction on the ATF preventing them from enforcing their imaginary brace rule. Kind of. As I record this, the injunction only applies to the plaintiffs in the case, but since the Firearms Policy Coalition themselves and Maxim Defense are both plaintiffs, does that mean members of the FPC or customers of Maxim are protected by the injunction? If so, maybe it's a good idea to join the FPC. In any case, the FPC filed a motion to clarify that point, so stay tuned. But for the moment, if you don't live in Louisiana, Mississippi, or Texas, this injunction doesn't apply to you anyway. For that matter, even if you do live within the Fifth Circuit, the ATF might still be eager to drag you through the process just to put you in your place. But when a judge, or in this case a whole panel of judges, issues an injunction, it is because they believe the case is likely to win on its merits. And they also expedited the schedule. The case won't likely be decided before the rule goes into effect, but the court clearly sees a need to right a wrong here. In other words, the ATF is gonna lose this case. Now, I'm not a lawyer because my parents were married, but I really believe the ATF is just gonna get penned into a very strict constitutional box by the time this case is finished. I think braces will be treated like they were before, but the precedent set here will also undermine the ATF's claim that a vertical grip turns a pistol into an AOW, that having just one simple rubber disc outside of a can is the same as having an entire unregistered silencer, or it's simply drawing a picture of a part that vaguely represents an autosear but still can't actually function as one. It's still the same thing as selling a whole-ass machine gun. But it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda like this without sponsors, so let's pay some bills. Today's video is sponsored by TNVC.com, your source for good old-fashioned all-American night vision, just like Mom used to make. Hey, y'all see this pledge from the civilian disarmament complex last week? The idea is to get newly hatched lawyers to sign a pledge to never work for gun companies or grassroots gun rights organizations. Somehow, I don't think this pledge is likely to change any minds that weren't already made up, and it obviously isn't actually binding in any way, so why bother? Because the control freaks are absolutely losing their minds as they suffer loss after demoralizing loss in courtrooms across America. I mean, stop and think about how the last few years have looked to be on the other side. They have witnessed massive, smashing defeats in the strongest fortresses of authoritarian policy. The Bruin decision was our Hiroshima, but they also watched record-breaking sales and widespread total disregard for the handful of stupid laws they did manage to pass. They watched people openly defy magazine bans on the steps of the Capitol in Colorado. They watched people just go ahead and print auto sears like all they please. They are witnessing the end of the era when the state even has the ability to disarm the people.
It's afraid. It's afraid!
Pennsylvanian politicritter John Fetterman staffer says he's okay with repealing the Second Amendment. Yeah. The guy who chased an innocent jogger with a shotgun through his neighborhood, totally not because the jogger was black, alakablam, wants to repeal the Second Amendment and would much rather prefer nobody has guns at all.
He'd be okay with like overturning the Second Amendment probably. Like, I think he'd much rather prefer like nobody has guns at all.
Good luck. In a video published by O'Keefe, one of Fetterman's closest minions confided to a pretty girl the senator really wants to ban all guns. Add another one to the "nobody wants to take all your guns" file. Of course, in the strictest sense, they really don't want to ban all guns, do they? Control freaks like Fetterman only want to leave the lower classes defenseless. They know they'll need a lot of armed thugs to do that. And besides, rich people are just better than the rest of us, so they deserve to have private armies protecting them. But wait, there's more. Fetterman's soon-to-be ex-minion also admitted they only allow access to journalists who will say precisely what they're told to say.
Who will paint art, who we know will paint the narrative the way we want. So it's like when John checks himself in for depression, you tell one reporter, in particular, because they will hit the facts that we want them to.
The Louisiana state legislature passed their permitless carry bill, HB 131, with just barely enough votes to override the inevitable veto from Governor John Bell Edwards. Now it moves on to the Senate, where the red team again has just barely enough votes to override the veto, if they maintain a party line. The House narrowly defeated an amendment in committee which would have raised the age to carry concealed to 21. Although most permitless carry states do have the same age limit, recent court cases have found it to be illegal to deny Second Amendment rights to adults under 21. The next step is to get this pushed through whichever judiciary committee it gets assigned to, so stay tuned for that fire mission. But in the meantime, no matter what state you live in, you can help our brothers and sisters in Louisiana.
I'm doing my part.
I want you to pause this video right now and call 225-342-2040 and pick a district number between 1 and 39 to be randomly connected to one of many fine barrel-aged politicians. Tell that person to support HB 131 because 28 states already have permitless carry and it's coming to Louisiana with or without them. Tell them if they are not on the right side of history for this, they're gonna be on the wrong side of their next primary. And now, for your moment of zen.
Hey, Heath, you ready to go to the range?
Yeah.
You have a tourniquet?
No.
You have all of that? And you do not have an effing tourniquet?
Yeah, what for?
You are literally the bane of the gun community. Carry an effing tourniquet. Gosh.
Where can I get a tourniquet?
Refuge Medical! It's the only place to buy them!
Hey friends, do you like pews and other pew-related things? Do you want to help us keep delivering you pure uncut American pew propaganda at the low, low price of free fitty? We literally couldn't pay the bills without our sponsors. So do us a solid and get yourself something nice from them. You deserve it. I love you.